All right, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a background form, or I'm sorry, a background image for your forms so that you can kind of jazz up that basic form here. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to find the block ID, which is the HTML little piece of, it's actually CSS code that then we can use to kind of change this whole block. So this is not difficult to do, but it does take a tiny bit of HTML and CSS understanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight anywhere on this form, and then I'm going to do control click or right click, and then I'm going to click inspect. And so what's going to happen is it's going to bring up, it's going to highlight where I had it. It's going to highlight in my code where I had it highlighted above here in the text. So what I want to do though is I want to find the area in the code that highlights the entire block of this form. So I'm going to keep kind of scrolling up through my form until I find the block part, which I think is this. So you can see now that the whole block area is highlighted. It's not just the text, it's not just the like form fields, and then it also starts with the word block. So this is what I want. So I'm going to double click on this and I'm going to copy it, and we're going to throw this into our custom CSS. So let's put this at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and just like clear through all that so that it's nice and easy for you to see it. So we'll put that here. Now, since this is an ID, a div ID, we need to put a little hashtag in there. If it was a class, we would do a period, but for all of the blocks, it's an ID. And then we'll do our little curly Q guys there. And then I'll enter just so that we have some space to work with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add background image, colon, and then we'll do URL and then parentheses, and it's automatically going to do our closing parentheses for us. Then we want to make sure, don't forget to put your semicolon at the end so that it knows what to pull. So here all you're doing is this is where you're going to put your custom image, and it pulls it in as a URL. But all you have to do is click Manage Custom Files and then upload whatever image it is that you want to be in the background. So I think I'm going to do that image. Okay, so I'll open and then we'll scroll down, and once it loads, all we have to do is click, and you'll see that if we then click out of here, you'll see that it adds it into where our cursor was, which was in between the two parentheses, which is where we want it to be. And you'll see that it's added it over here. Now, obviously, that's not nearly as pretty as we'd like it to be. It's just a bunch of blurry bricks, which is not what I want. So what we want to do now is we're going to change the background size. So we'll do background dash size, colon, and then I'm going to do cover, which usually works for pretty much anything that you're using for your image. It basically just tells the CSS and tells Squarespace that you want it to cover the entirety of the space and not to actually be the full width of the image, which obviously was much larger. So now we have this image and it fits our form background. The one last thing I want to show you is that obviously now you can see that the text is a little bit hard to read. So this is a simple change. Anytime you're changing text color, you literally just write color, colon, and then whatever color you want it to be. I'm just going to make it white, just so that you can see it in theory. Now this image probably isn't the best image in the end because it still is a little bit hard to read this text, but this just gives you an idea of what you can do and how you can upload your own background image to any form. And this also works for newsletter forms and contact forms. So that's it.